is a logic hack for randomizing automation in a sort of automatic entry way without having to do any fader adjustments and without having to enter a bunch of nodes. So what you do is you create a region. It's got to be in track mode. So now I'm back in automation mode. And for the region, I have to delete this. So for the region, you select that and then choose create track automation. And so it does that. So from that, you can basically do it that way, or you can do it this way. You can add the nodes in yourself. And then make sure that you have copy automation selected in your preferences for automation. And once you do that, you just command copy, etc., etc., etc. And if you want to do it a little quicker, select a bunch of them at once. And we were already, we can just keep going and going. And we can cut the region down to size and quantize it if we really want to, or we can make it just like randomly fading like that. So, all right, we have our track-based automation, but we got to convert it into region-based automation. So the next thing we do is go to mix, and we got to have it selected. And convert track automation to region automation. So now we see that's here. So if we go to track mode, we don't see it. We go here, we see it. Okay. So also I created nodes that have like a difference, so I'll be able to see the difference. If you just do 0 to 0, you can't really see the difference. It's kind of confusing. So anyways, that's ready to go. And now all we have to do is open up the MIDI transformer. And this is a quick and dirty way to do it, but you might have to do it with more detail if you use multiple parameters, because they sort of want to grab onto multiple automation parameters at once. So anyways, here I am in MIDI transform. I select random velocity, and I'm selecting fader. And then I have my sort of threshold here. So nothing's going to go below 40. And nothing's going to go, above 127, the MIDI limitation. And what it is I want to select operate only, because if you do the select and operate thing, it can sort of mess up various like selections of automation. So because it reselects stuff. So operate only is going to magically adjust all of this stuff. So in that instance, for whatever reason, I had to select and operate, but once I did that one time, it created the ability to just do operate only. So anyway, the point here is that we now see that the fader volume has now been adjusted randomly. So all of these have random component in them. So nothing here is going to be similar. So in practical purposes, what I wanted to do was either create something like a subtle volume fader adjustment or a subtle pan-based adjustment. And that's just to add a little bit of like this mastering finesse, the mixing finesse modulation. So what I would really want to do is, if I was going to have like a range, I would want a very tight range. So it'd be more like 70 to 80. And then I would choose operate only. And so it's only going to subtly modulate all this stuff in that 70 to 80 range. So that's the point of this, is that if I have something that's, like a 3-minute track or a 5-minute track, and instead of having to go through and add in this, random panning or whatever and then record it through the touch system. I'm doing it with automation and the MIDI transform system so that I can do it very quickly. So therefore, if I have, so now as part of the magic of this is if I duplicate this, you can choose copy automation, and then you can use this same sort of randomization on multiple tracks effects. So it doesn't have to be limited to volume and pan. It can be many, many, many things. And so anyway, let's say, for instance, I came over here and I want to do the same thing, except I want a different randomization. So I go back to my MIDI transform, and I'm going back to random velocity, making sure it's on fader, except this time I want to go from 90 to like 120 in the opposite direction. So there we go. So it didn't affect the other track, and I've gone into this new range. And so there we have it. Very cool. Works perfectly. And if I wanted to get it like a different parameter going, I would have to copy that automation and then paste it into this other parameter.